Good morning, everybody. I am back again, and I'm your host, the Supreme Litigant. Before I begin with the topic of this video, y'all already know the routine. Go ahead and hit that subscription button and that like button. I'll give y'all a second to do that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna jump right into this. But before I begin again, sorry about that, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all something. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you for taking the time out to watch these videos to learn and teach yourself. I really appreciate that. Um, Hopefully, we can get this ebook series on teaching y'all how to sue the police started sometime this year. But back to the topic of the video. So today I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be explaining to y'all why a traffic stop is an arrest. All right, so let me go where the case is at. I was somewhere right here. First, I'm trying to see what should I read y'all first. Well, okay. I'm gonna show y'all an old traffic ticket in Alabama first, and then I'm gonna show y'all a new one, and then I'm gonna read y'all the statutes and stuff like that. Where is it? This is an old right here. This is an old traffic citation in Alabama. Let me go up so y'all can see it. This was looks like May 5th. No, not May 5th. I'm tripping. May the 26th, 2006. So this is an old traffic citation. If you look here where it says defendant's signature, this is where they used to sign it at. Okay, and right under it, it says released on own recognizance. That is a bond. Do y'all hear me? The only time that you do bonds is when your ass has been arrested. That is a bond. Released on own recognizance. There's another one right here that says driver's license posted in lieu of bond. Y'all see that? If you can't see it, pause the video to where you can kind of make it bigger because I don't have any control over the size of the image right here. That is a bond. Okay? That's a fucking bond. And if you didn't show up if you didn't show up, they're gonna arrest your ass for jumping bail. So let's go here. I'm not gonna get into to the rest of this stuff, not right now. So I'm gonna close this one. Well, let me go back up. I still want y'all to see that this is an Alabama uniform ticketing complaint. That's what they call it. All right, so let me go to the new one. Let me show y'all the revised one. I found one online and I was able to block out the information. Okay. This is the new one. Notice it says no signature required pursuant to, I can make this one bigger, pursuant to section 32, 1, 4A. Do y'all see that? And right under it says released on own recognizance. That is a fucking bond because your ass was arrested. A traffic stop is an arrest. All right, now let's go. I'm gonna read this a little bit right now. So y'all want to just pay attention to this. This is where these look like the allegations. They're not. I don't think they're supposed to be here. At least in my opinion, they're supposed to be where the facts are. See where it says facts related to offense or whatever. They always have to have facts. They always have to, but they always put it right here or whatever. So anyway, it says did unlawfully operate a motor vehicle. All of these words have been construed. All of these words have meanings. So I'm under the impression that these people have taken silent judicial notice that these are all commercial terms because these are all commercial terms. Not only that, this shit is vague as hell. it's conclusory if it's not vague. I know for a fact it's conclusory because you can't make allegations in a conclusory manner without facts to support how you came to that conclusion, because that is a violation of due process. You cannot do that. And I'm quite sure the police officer who issued this citation is not competent to testify as to the legal definitions of what the fuck unlawfully means, operate, motor vehicle, other vehicle. The motherfucker don't know what he don't know that. She or he does not know that. I'm almost certain that they don't know that. Because they think that these words mean what they actually say, and not how they're be not and not how have they and not how they've actually been construed. This is all commerce. These folks are doing business with you. The city of Newton is a corporation. It has a charter from the legislature in Alabama. If you go and watch my video where there's a charter, where I'm showing you how a charter looks and I'm reading it to you, it's a corporation. And these police officers are officers of that corporation. Can the officers of Walmart enforce their public policy on you if you are not an employee? Hell no, they can't. That's unlawful. Anyway, let's go up a little bit more because I want y'all to see that this is an Alabama uniform traffic ticket and complaint. These are the new ones. They revised it. All right. So let's go and read section 32.1.4a and see what it says. And then I'm gonna show y'all cases. And it would be right here. Title 32 in the Alabama Code, current as of December 30th, 2022. So they must have just revised this. I'm not sure. I don't think they just revised that section that I'm going to read, but they must have just modified this code. This is the motor vehicle code. So generally, when you get a traffic citation, they're going to cite 32 in there, title 32 in there somewhere. Here it is, Alabama Code, section 32.1.4. Let's see what it says, everybody. Let's see what it says. Whenever a person is arrested, whenever any person is arrested for a violation of any provision of this title, punishable as a misdemeanor, the arresting officer shall, unless otherwise provided in this section, take the name and address of such person and the license number of his or her motor vehicle, and shall issue a summons or otherwise notify him in writing or by an electronic traffic ticket, which is what I just showed y'all, or e-ticket, which is what I just showed y'all, to appear at a time and place to be specified in such summons, notice, or e-ticket. An electronic e-ticket, an electronic traffic ticket or e-ticket for purposes of this chapter is defined as a ticket that is generated and printed at the site of a traffic violation after a violation has been electronically transmitted to the court. An arresting officer, notice an arresting officer. That's because your ass is arrested. An arresting officer transfers arrest and licensing information of a violator electronically to the court. The court electronically records the arrest. The court electronically records the arrest and issues a complaint and summons or notice to appear, which is printed at the site of the offense and given to the violator. The person arrested, if he or she desires, shall have a right to an immediate hearing or a hearing within 24 hours at a convenient hour before a magistrate, which is the so-called judge, within the county or city where such offense was committed. Or if an e-ticket is written, the person shall have a right, if he or she desires, to an immediate hearing or a hearing within 24 hours at a convenient hour before any magistrate within the state, except when an arresting officer cites a person with an e-ticket. The officer shall, upon the giving by such, let me read. I'm gonna read this for y'all again because this is where they're gonna start talking about this bond in a minute. Um, there's two magistrates, if I'm not mistaken, in Alabama. The judge, so-called judge, acts in a magisterial capacity, and they actually do have somebody that is a magistrate or whatever. Except when an arresting officer cites a person with an e-ticket, the officer shall, upon the giving by such person of a sufficient written bond approved by the arresting officer to appear at such time and place, forthwith release the person from custody. So after this officer, after a bond has been executed, the officer is to forthwith release you from custody. That means immediately released you from custody. I'm going to read it one more time. Except when an arresting officer cites a person with an e-ticket, the officer shall, upon the giving by such person of a sufficient written bond, they're saying you're giving this police officer a bond. That's what they're saying at this traffic stop. Upon the giving by such person of a sufficient written bond approved by the arresting officer to appear at such time and place, forthwith release the person from custody. Except when an arresting officer cites a person with an e-ticket, a person refusing to give bond to appear shall be taken immediately by the arresting officer before the nearest and most accessible magistrate, which means if your ass refused that traffic ticket, they're going to take you to jail. They're going to take you to jail. So it's best, in my opinion, it's best to accept this traffic ticket under duress. So what I mean by that is when you take this traffic ticket, let the officer know, you're like, look, I don't consent to this. I'm going to take the traffic ticket under duress because if I don't, you're going to arrest me and take me to jail. And I'm going to let the court, so-called judge, know all of this stuff. I'm going to file an affidavit and I'm going to explain to them what happened, so on and so forth like that. That's what I would do because this is a presumption. All right. This is a presumption. All right. When an e-ticket is used by an arresting officer, a person shall be deemed. Let me read this for y'all again, because when they give your ass an e-ticket, when they issue you an e-ticket, or when this officer is using an e-ticket as a means of citing you for a traffic citation, it is also a bond because your ass was arrested. He arrested you, she arrested you, and you don't know it because you think you have to be in handcuffs and in the back of a police car and taken to jail to be arrested. You can be in your house as a matter of law. You can be in your house, walking around, drinking water, putting on clothes, and talking to the police, arrested and not even know it. That doesn't mean nothing because you're doing all of that. They look to the facts of the case. How many officers are on the scene? Are they showing any type of authority? Are you not free to leave? Because anytime your ass is not free to leave, then as a matter of law, you are in a non-custodial arrest, aka what they also call a detention. It's really an arrest because you're not free to leave. Anyway, I'm going to read this for y'all again. When an e-ticket is used by an arresting officer, a person shall be deemed to have given his or her written bond to appear in court on the date as specified on the e-ticket. Any person who willfully violates his or her written bond by failing to timely appear shall be guilty of a misdemeanor regardless of the disposition of the charge upon which he or she was originally arrested. I'm not gonna really read this right here because I don't think it's not really it's not really relevant to the video. But I just wanted y'all to see that. I'm gonna read this last part. I'm gonna highlight this shit for y'all. When an e-ticket is used by an arresting officer, a person shall be deemed to have given his or her written bond to appear in court on the date as specified on the e-ticket. Any person who willfully violates his or her written bond by failing to timely appear shall be guilty of a misdemeanor regardless of the disposition. That means regardless of how the case was decided upon the charge upon which he or she shall originally, which he or she was originally arrested. Y'all see that? I told y'all they doing business with y'all, man. Doing business with y'all. I'm gonna read a little bit more just to show you what's really going on. Let's see. Now these are gonna be old cases because when I read you these old cases, this is before they modified the traffic ticket. Okay, this is before they changed it. So let's see. Here it is. Here's another one. Once the traffic offender signs the uniform traffic ticket, the arresting officer is to forthwith release him from custody. The officer may further detain the driver only if he has probable cause to arrest the driver for some other non-traffic offense, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Where are we at? With certain limited exceptions enumerated. Okay. I'm going to pause the video right quick until I find it. Be right back, y'all. All right, y'all. I found what I was looking for. Right now, I'm back on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be reading to y'all from the community section on my channel where I post a lot of my cases at. Now, in Alabama, I just know that's what that's how they operate in Alabama in regards to traffic tickets. Because it's an appearance bond. That's essentially what it is. That's why it says released on own recognizance at the bottom of it. For your particular so-called state, it may be different. It probably is different because here's one in Illinois. For the state of Illinois, drivers issued uniform traffic tickets are released only after posting bail in the form of a current Illinois driver's license, a bond certificate, or cash. So it's different everywhere. I was doing some research for a woman, and I think she said it was in Pennsylvania or something like that. She got stopped in PA. I talked to her a couple of days ago. I think her name was Elizabeth. If you're watching this video, Liz, I'm gonna just comment on that a little. Anyway, in Illinois, I think you have like 10, not Illinois, but in Pennsylvania, I think you have like 10 days or so to go and execute some type of bond. It's I think they have 3 types of requirements. You have about 10 days to come down and post security for the equal amount cost of a bond or something like that, where I read it in the statute or something like that. So obviously it's not the same everywhere. That's the purpose of me telling y'all that. Obviously it's not the same everywhere. But I just wanted to let y'all know that. So I'm gonna go ahead and read y'all some of this stuff. Y'all, these are real cases. Y'all can go and read these cases for yourself. A defendant's signature on a traffic ticket seems to operate as an appearance bond. So signing another's name on a ticket would be a forgery, except as provided in blah, blah, blah. This is in Florida, obviously. Pertaining to toll roads, any person cited for an infraction under this section must sign and accept a citation indicating a promise to appear. Now, on these old traffic citations in Alabama, they start off like right before where the defendant's signature was supposed to be. It says, "I promise to appear." That's what it says. Stating, let me see, promise to appear. And here's an Alabama case stating in that a traffic ticket would support a conviction for a forgery because the ticket serves as an appearance bond once the defendant has signed it. Y'all see that? Told y'all they doing business with you, man. We all know bonds or contracts or agreements. Doesn't matter. If it's an agreement, generally speaking, a bond is governed by the general principles of contract law if it's an agreement. And it has all the necessary elements, which it does. The initial stop of Callahan was proper. Callahan was driving a motor vehicle. Look at this. This is a commercial term. This is a commercial term. All of this shit is commercial, y'all. All of this is commercial. These folks, it seems like they have taken silent judicial notice, or they're just gonna, or there's some type of presumption that you're engaged in intrastate commerce, since this is local, as opposed to interstate commerce, which is all over the country. Anyway, Callahan was driving a motor vehicle with an improper tag. This is a misdemeanor offense in violation of Alabama Code 1975, Section 32, 6, 131. I told y'all all motor vehicle traffic violations or whatever, they're going to be under Title 32. Therefore, Deputy Alexander had a right to arrest Callahan and take him into custody. An arresting officer has authority to arrest a violator for a traffic offense, and upon doing so is under a statutory duty to release the violator if the violator signs a bond approved by the arresting officer agreeing to appear in court. The bond is the traffic ticket. I had to let y'all know that. Under Alabama law, refusal to sign a citation is cause for a custodial arrest. And stating that the custodial arrest was authorized and justified because the appellant refused to sign the traffic ticket. He refused to give bond. That's what the fuck he did. You can't force nobody to give you a bond. These folks are doing business with you. You can't force nobody into no contract or agreement. That's fraud. That's void. Ab initio. You can't do that. That's unlawful. But that's what they're doing. There is no dispute that Wood refused to sign the reckless driving citation and that he was aware that if he refused to sign, he would be taken to jail. I told y'all, when people used to refuse to sign this shit, they would take their ass to jail. This is before they changed it. Also, I'm not justified. I mean, I don't know if he was reckless driving or not, but if he was, you got to be more careful, man. You actually could kill somebody or seriously injure yourself or whatever. You got to be careful. Our original opinion held that a traffic ticket would support a forgery conviction because the ticket serves as an appearance bond once the defendant has signed it. There's the case. We note that under Alabama law, refusal to sign a written ticket is cause for an arrest. During the penalty phase, Pete Fulmer, a lieutenant with the Pelham, that's not Pelham, it's Pelham Police Department, testified that until a ticket is signed, the person who is receiving the ticket is not free to leave. Your ass is arrested. You're not going nowhere. They're going to force you into doing business with them. Lieutenant Fulmer explained, by signing the ticket, they are not acknowledging their guilt. They are just promising to appear in court. They're basically making their bond on that charge. Lieutenant Fulmer further testified that if a person refused to sign the ticket, the officer issuing the ticket does not have any choice but to take them, make a physical custodial arrest. There's the case. I'm gonna pause the video right quick, and there's something else I want to show y'all. So y'all give me a second. So I gotta find.